It is currently 5:30 a.m. There is a shoot that I am doing this morning for my parents' church. They will be tearing down the cross at their old location, and them as a congregation will be walking the cross to the new location, which is I think about like 4 or 5 miles away, and the cross is like, I mean, a 6-foot chunk of wood. So I think it's gonna be a pretty moving and emotional moment. I thought I'd capture it for them. So I'm currently loading the truck up. We're gonna go catch it going down. Now, I know this is gonna sound super nerdy and technical, but something I'm super excited about this shoot today. I shoot with a Sony a7S Mark I, and I've been really liking a lot of the footage. The only thing that I've ever really had to challenge myself with is the fact that every single time I shoot anything, it comes out just a tad bit green. And I've never understood why. I thought maybe it was the lens, or maybe it was the, just the way I shot it, or the white balance was off, and it could have been a mixture of all of those things. Which required me then to do a whole bunch of research on color science. A long road, I eventually got to this point where I found this guy named, his channel's Harv Video and Audio Stuff. And I just started watching a lot of his videos, primarily because they were all A7 centric. And he recommended this thing called EOS HD. Apparently it was picture profiles that you could put into your camera that gives it it gives your Sony camera a Canon look. And I started to try it out. I played with it a little bit, and I loved it. I thought it looked great. It was a little more saturated, like it was supposed to be a straight out of camera look. So it definitely looked a little bit more than what I like. I kind of prefer to shoot for a post workflow, something a little bit more mid-range, nothing that's like straight out of camera beautiful. But just yesterday, or the 15th, what's this today? The 17th, so the 15th, he released EOS HD 3.0. On top of that, he also released EOS HD, or EOS Pro Log, or something, it's called something like that. Which it's actually from the first thing that I purchased, which was just one picture profile that looked really pretty. Now it's actually 5 individual picture profiles, 3 that are straight out of camera pretty, and 2 that are meant for a post workflow. One that basically mimics C-Log, and then another one that is S-Log based. You can obviously tell in his writings that he's not super thrilled with the S-Log, but it's kind of one of those things where you got to take it because S-Log gives you the most dynamic range for your camera. I mean, that's the one of the biggest reasons why you get the alpha cameras, is the ability to shoot log and the amount of dynamic range you get in such a tiny little body. So I downloaded it, and I've been messing around with it, and I'm really liking the looks, but I haven't had a subject to shoot since I got it. Which, I've been, Savannah has been sick, so I've been with the boys all day yesterday. Didn't really have any time. I was going to go out and shoot something yesterday, but it just, human nature things got in the way. So this time, this morning shoot, I'm hoping to get to try out some of the log looks for him. Oh, one thing I didn't mention was that all of his log looks, he actually also provides LUTs in the pack for his looks. And I actually just took those LUTs and applied them to some of my old S-Log footage just to see what they did, and they actually worked gorgeously just with the S-Log. Not that that's how they were intended to be used, but that's what they ended up being. So I'm real excited. Moral of the story is I'm real excited to get to try this out. I'm going to try out his C-Log look for this shoot. I think that the warm nature of it's going to look really, really nice for this, and then I'll get to actually really play with some of his lookup tables, because I'm actually shooting in his native format. This is going to be my first actual real. I mean, I've done a couple shoots before this, but this will be my real test run of my new lenses, which I got Sony proper lenses, so that I have all the autofocus. The A7S doesn't have that great of autofocus, so you know that's a bit of a take it or leave it kind of deal. But I wanted it just because my last lenses, they were all primes, they were all Rokinon, so they were dummies, which is great when you have a lot of time. But I have found that the majority of the things I shoot don't have a lot of time. They're either documentary, event, wedding. It's very time centric, and I needed that extra couple seconds of switching focal lengths to get a shot. I often would miss a lot of shots. So it's a Sony G Master 12-24. That one's my wide one. It's probably not going to be used for this shoot very much, if at all, because I'm probably going to be further away from the action, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of landscapes that I think will be needed to capture. But then the other one, which is going to be my beast of a lens, is my Sony 24-240, which is a huge focal range. I really like it. It's a little bit slower, and it's 6.3 at its longest. And the focus for it, I have to be fairly far away from my thing, but once again, I'm probably using that lens because I'm further away. So, you know, trade-offs, but it's kind of a great overall singular lens, and I don't have to pop off the lens often. So I think I'm going to be running with that around. It's got lens stabilization in it as well, which is another thing the Rokinons didn't have. I know this is super technical and everything, but these are like the things I geek out about. I love tech specs. I'm a tech guy. I like hardware. I like optimizing hardware. I like changing and researching things that can make my stuff work better for me and do better things for me. So, and one other thing. Now, this one I'm a little nervous about. I tested it already, and it does work, but I haven't done a full shoot with it. I found a Sony Alpha hack called Open Memories Tweak. Essentially, what it does, or at least what I understand, is a guy reverse engineered all the software to Open Memories and took off the 30-minute minimum recording, or 30-minute maximum recording. So with that, I'm actually able to record in my camera for the longest my card can go, which it does give a time, but I don't really know how accurate that time is. It's like 13 hours and 30 minutes or something like that, which is really random because my card only does, my card can only record for 3 hours at 1080p, so I don't have the ability to really test that number. But I'm interested in that one because that was another huge limitation of DSLRs and smaller camera bodies, is the fact that they, due to tax reasons and a bunch of other bullshit, they put a limit on the recording, which is usually not a huge issue, but for tax purposes, so they can't tax it as a full video camera. So now that I might have the possibility of a fully functioning video camera in a DSLR size, that's actually a huge deal. do a lot of things, especially for an event videographer like myself. So lots of cool tech things I'm gonna get to test with the shoot. So even if the shoot, I lose everything, I get all the footage looks like crap and everything, I at least accomplished the ability to test a lot of my gear and all the new settings that I have. So I'm excited about that. So the morning's finished. They are now at the part where they are walking the cross 3 miles. It's 3 miles, by the way. 3 miles to the new church. I got a bunch of footage, so hopefully it turns out well, and I'm hoping eventually I'm gonna catch up to them, and they're booking it, that I can catch up to them and get them on their journey. Right, so I have got them on their first leg of the trip. I realize I filmed that last section in vertical. Cardinal sin. Because I'm doing a church thing. Unfortunately, I can't get ahead, like I can't go around the convoy, which is fine. They're moving slower than I thought they would. They made a right turn, so I thought they had just jetted, but they made a right turn. So what I gotta do is I gotta go back to the church. I gotta go back all the way around the mountain, and then head them off at the street that they're going to. The cop gave me directions. I'm not the best with directions, so hopefully I can figure it out. Check it out. They're literally walking the giant cross all the way to the new church. It's wild. It's so cool. Just so you guys know, I am presetting this shot, so it looks like it's probably just gonna chop, and it looks like I'm just driving. I'm not actually just driving. I'm just to keep up. I'm popping it into my car mount so that I can talk to you guys while I'm driving to get in front of the crowd. One of my favorite things is talking to people about the drone. They always are curious about it. They always want to know things about it. I get a little nervous when they're approaching me because, it's like 50-50. People are either super fascinated and they think drones are so cool and they want to talk about it, or they're thinking that I'm peeping on them and they want me to get the hell off their property. So luckily the guy I was just talking to, I parked out in front of his house and set my drone out, and luckily he was the kind who he wanted to chat about the drone and check the drone out. So okay, I think this is the last stretch of the journey where we're definitely coming to the close of it. I've gotten some really cool drone shots, gotten some really cool walking with them shots. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna get to the new church and watch them come up and bring it to the church. I think that's the closing shot, and we're close enough now that I'm a little nervous about missing that shot. So what I think I'll do is I'll probably park at the new church, walk down this way, and then walk back up with them, hopefully stay in front of them the entire time. Alright, that's a wrap. I picked my mother up while, say hi, Mom.
Hi.
Picked my mother up while to head home from church. She actually did the walk. I think I got some good shots. They're not putting the cross up today. They're going to be putting it up hopefully later this week, Thursday, Friday. It sounds like they're going to refurbish it a little bit, and hopefully I'll be back to get that. We'll see. Schedules permitting, we'll hopefully get it. Apparently this is the driving vlog. I'm now on my way to go meet some friends for coffee and lunch. I haven't seen them in a while, so I'm pretty excited to see them. This is Nate. He's from LA. He's making video games now. He's ditched all of us normal film people. This is Ruben. Ruben's doing a feature. Nano Sharks. And this is Will. Will is smarter than all of us combined. And he. I'm just gonna leave it at that. We're gonna go get tacos. So my phone died during that last time lapse. So to wrap it up, great time. We had delicious food. Will paid for it all, so that made the food taste 1,000 times better when it's free. Will showed me some iPhone lenses that he has. I am now convinced that I need some iPhone lenses. The wide angle was amazing. I did not have to stay stretched with my arm out like this, and I was actually able to get the field of view I expect out of the lenses that come in the iPhones. And it was a pretty productive day. I got an edit done. Hopefully the church will like it. And yeah, unfortunately it's a bit of a lazy ending, but I'm done.